Hi and welcome to another Wednesday with Wilna, and today I'm using these print and cut files from iHeartStudio again on a layout. So I added a PDF to these files last week, so if you buy them on iHeartStudio you'll be able to just print them off with PDFs, with a PDF file in a letter size, so it's wonderful for normal printers. And then you can just fuzzy cut them by hand to leave a little white border like you can see there. It's a very simple file to print and cut out by hand. It's not intricate at all. So I think it will be super easy for you to do that. And that's a great option if you don't have a silhouette cameo. So today I'm going to be using oil pastels, a little set that I just bought from Michael's, and we're going to color the printables, and I'm also going to be using some pencil crayons, and I just want to show you how lovely it is to just combine pencil crayons with oil pastels. It's not something that you would think of doing, but it's still just a huge amount of fun. And you know why I decided to bring in the pencil crayons is because the pastels are so thick, and this is a rather delicate design, so actually just using pencils would have been awesome, but I like the lovely colors of the pastels. So I'm just experimenting a little bit, seeing how much the oils can blend, and they don't really blend at all. So it's it was a little, just a little bit of a learning curve for me, because they are really like crayons. Oil pastels are like crayons. And believe it or not, I studied art and I didn't really ever use oil pastels that much. So that's why I'm not even ashamed to say that this is new for me, but I liked it, and I just wish they had a finer point because of the delicateness of the cut file or the printout. So it's almost like coloring for adults. this is what I was thinking while I was doing this, and you know what, it's so therapeutic. I mean, I remember when my kids were little and we would go to a family restaurant, and we'll always get a coloring piece of paper with the pencils or crayons, and one of my favorite things was to sit and color with them, so it was very therapeutic doing this. I like to blend colors, so this is really like coloring for adults, because you want to do it a little bit more artistic than just adding color. So I'm speeding it up, and you can see I am using like a light green on one side of the leaf and a darker green on the other side, and then I'm coloring over it with yellow, and I'm going to just add color here and there, making the daisy yellow. I'm speeding it up because I did zoom in, and then I'll slow down again. So I think that is what my whole thinking is with this little printable, was, like I said, to blend the colors, to see how well pastels or oils blend, and they don't blend well at all. So that gets a little tick against it for me, but that's why I brought in the pencils. And now you'll see how lovely they work together, because the pencil crayons are so fine that you can really color in the most beautiful detail with them. So this is just a set that I had. It's actually watercolor pencils, but I deliberately did not want to watercolor these. So I would absolutely, if you want to, you can, and I would love to see how that looks. But I wanted to do pencils or crayons with these. Okay, so just see what I did there. I gave it a little outline of pink and then just colored the inside with red. Also vary the thick, how hard you press with your pencil. So you can see I'm pressing rather hard there. And then as you go towards the outer lines, you can lighten your grip and just have a very softer touch to it. So that's one way, and this is what you call rendering. So you can see I'm very lightly coloring the edges there just to blend that orange with the yellow. And I wish I had more colors of the pencil crayons, you know. So but anyway, so while you're watching me doing this, I had another brainwave this morning. I know my problem is like Alice in Wonderland. I think up 8 incredible things before breakfast. Well, not always, but sometimes I do. And this morning I had another idea. Actually, I was feeling sad about something, and then I had this idea and I felt better. I know, it's so weird. Oh, just see what I did there. I just used a little bit of crayons, and now I'm just using my pencil over it, and look, it works wonderful. And you have that rich, wonderful, vivid color of the crayons, and then and you have that perfect edge. So it's not that you're not allowed to color outside of the lines here, but you wanted to have a resemblance of adult coloring and not child coloring. So this works wonderful. I'm taking a little darker blue just to do the outlines, and again, I just love the effect of it. But anyway, so the idea that I had is I really want to start doing art journaling, and I was thinking it this morning because I was writing in my journal, and then I realized I love to journal and I love art. Why haven't I ever done art journaling? So I think my idea will take me to Michael's today, and I'll see what I can come up with. And I don't know, I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but I'm very tempted, people, to do an art journal video once a week, and just to, and you know what, and I was thinking this because I have never done it before. Okay, I've never ever made an art journal page before, but to share my journey with you and to show you this is where I'm starting. I have never done it before, let's do it together, almost that kind of idea. So I don't know, what do you think about that? I would love to hear your thoughts, even though I don't think, even if you tell me it's a terrible idea, I might still want to do it. So okay, so there you can see I'm using red over the purple, and look how pretty that looks. I mean, it's so beautiful. Just blending the colors. I was surprised at how well the oil pastels blend with watercolor pencils, and pleasantly surprised. So this is really starting to look so pretty. I must admit, the yellow daisy, the big one that I colored outside of the lines, bothered me, but I don't think I did anything else to it. You can see there it's just not fine enough. I almost wanted to take my craft knife and sharpen the oil pastels, but I don't think that sort of defies the purpose. But I think the oil pastels are really for big drawings, for, you know, when you want to, and I think they'll work wonderful on an art journal. So I just have to find a pen that can write on anything, but maybe a Sharpie can, I'll see. Right, then I'm almost done. You can see there's not a lot more to color. I'm just adding a finishing touch here and there. And I think then we are ready to actually make a layout using this little embellishment that we just made. And just so you know, I printed mine out on a Canson watercolor paper. You can see in the previous video on my YouTube channel or on my blog, the previous post, at the 20-minute mark of that video, I show you exactly how to print and cut these files. So if you didn't watch that video, I would ask you very politely to go and have a look. I'll show you exactly in the Silhouette software how I used it to print and cut. So that is the previous video. I can't remember the name of the video. I'm a total blank, but it's the one where I used that pink flower you can see there in the corner. So on that one, so that's that. And now you can see it's done, how pretty it looks. And now we're going to just make a layout using this as the embellishment. So I'm opening a packet of the Heidi Swap Polaroid frames, and I love it. I love the gold and the black and white stripes. And I think that's often how a layout would come together for me. At this stage, I have no idea what photograph I want to use. I just know putting those little frames behind the flowers looks fabulous to me. And that's really how it starts. So now I'm browsing through all my photos to look for the right photograph. And then I'll see where it goes. So this is a lot of my process, and I think if you watch my videos a lot, you've gathered this by now, that I it's almost like going with the flow. Well, not almost, like exactly just going with the flow. So now the frame is just a little bit too big on the inside. Just cutting it a little bigger with my craft knife, and it looks so scary. Every time I do it, I think, oh my gosh, don't take off a finger. But it's safer. You know that thing where they say you look better than you feel, or do you feel better than you look? Well, yeah, it's not as dangerous as it looks. So I'm just adding a touch of hot glue, and I'm sticking down the frame, and I'm just gonna cut the photograph smaller so that it hides behind the frame. There you go. So this is a photograph that was taken on Tia's 17th birthday last summer, and I can't believe it's almost a year, well, in July, so it's still a little bit today. I'm just cleaning up the edges of that yellow flower. Still bothers me a little. So now I'm just going to adhere it. I'm definitely going to use it just there, and I'm just going to stick it down, and then I'm going to adhere the little frames. And you know what? At this stage, I was thinking maybe I should add something in the frames, but I decided however it will be, maybe it's just a little embellishment, and that's okay. You can just use it as an embellishment. So this is a way that I often open up my packaging, just cutting at the end of that packaging and with the craft knife, opening it up, because that way I can slide it back in, all the embellishments, and it's not ripped open. So that's just a little idea. And now I'm just supplementing some of the leaves with some gold leaves, and you can see I'm adhering it with a little bit of hot glue, and then just edging up the edges a little bit, just to make it interesting. So then your eyes are like, what part is embellishment and what part is printable? So it just makes it fascinating. I think it really makes it interesting to look at. And that's what you want. You want people to, well, I like it when someone looks at one of my layouts and go like, what is going on here? Let me have a closer look. Even though, believe it or not, I don't show a lot of my layouts where I live. I don't even think my girls see most of my layouts. They might see a glimpse of it on Instagram. So I'm thinking maybe I should cover the yellow flower, but in the end I didn't. So now you can see I'm just going to slide it back into the little packaging, and how easy is that? So now you can just put it away and it's not all over the place. So that's a good idea. And then these little flags, and I think Heidi Swap created it for her her planners, but oh my gosh, how pretty are they? So I'm just adding a touch of hot glue, and I don't want to cover Jana's face, so I'm just adhering them there. And then now I'm gonna color. So I'm just going to use a yellow pencil and lightly color. Well, I'm pressing rather hard, and as I go down I'll press lighter. And I think I thought it would be dark enough, but in the end you'll see I did add a little bit of gelato because of the wonderful rich color of the gelatos. And I did want some more blue and green there. I also added 1 or 2 vellum pieces of vellum words and a speech bubble. You can see just on the gold frame. It's from October Afternoon. Love this moment is by Maggie Holmes, as well as the 2 words or phrases on the right side of the layout, where I'm coloring now. It's also from Maggie Holmes. So I just adhered that with hot glue. Maybe my camera wasn't filming while I was doing it. So now I'm using blue and I'm just coloring. I'm getting a little impatient, you can probably tell. I think once you start using something like gelatos, that gives you such a lovely look, it's hard to use something else. So now, because it's watercolor pencils, I'm blending it a little with a slightly damp brush. But it was way too timid, the color. So I'm like, no. Let's bring out the big guns. Let's bring out the real thing and get it done properly. Do you agree? I think so. So I'm just fishing out my gelatos. And I'm going to use yellow and green. So I'm just coloring. And that felt way better. Okay, so don't worry about doing it perfectly. You can see there it doesn't look, it looks terrible, right? I mean, I wonder if there's anyone going, no, don't do that. But look, when you add the water, then, and I'm not pressing too hard. So what I would suggest is don't do the pencils if you want to create this look. Right off the bat, start with the gelatos. You can see the paper did make a little bit of debris there, and that's because of the previous water. And look how pretty. Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. I just absolutely love the blended colors of the yellow and that sea green. And when they blend, they just give you this absolutely beautiful look. And it's funny. I love that quote from The Fault in Our Stars where John Green says, I love the way you fall asleep, slowly and then all at once. And that's almost how I feel about this layout. I fell in love with it slowly and then all at once. Once the gelatos were on it and blended, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is really working, and I'm so glad, I'm so happy. So I'm just drying it a little bit with my tool, and then I actually discovered this brush recently for the class that I did for craftsy.com, which I'm very, very excited about. But I'll tell you more about that later on by April. And it's just a big brush that's super clean and dry, and it just works wonderful if you just want to get rid of pieces of crayon, pieces of oil pastels, pieces of gelato, and you just want it gone quickly without it smearing your layout. You just lightly brush it with a very specific hand motion. You just get rid of it like I did there. And I'm just using this background paper by Simple Stories. And now I'm just going to mount the layout, and I'm going to use adhesive quite close together because you can see the paper did buckle a little bit. So I just want to stretch it out. It didn't stretch it out completely, but I'm fine with that. That's okay. And you can see I'm using it quite close together. And yeah, I was almost going to say, and I didn't run out of adhesive, and then I remembered that I did. So let's just mount that page quickly. And I'm just going to stretch it out. Even if it ruffles, it's okay. We'll just pretend it's texture. So, and now I'm just going to do my journaling, and then the layout will be done. So I want to do my journaling, but I actually, as much as I embrace imperfection on a layout, I like it when my journaling is more or less straight. So I'm just using a ruler, and I'm just going to draw a line with a pencil, just so that I know more or less to align my journaling as straight as possible. So this is the first line of the journaling, and you can see that a couple of things here. I'm writing on the pencil line, and I'm not going to erase the pencil line. I'm fine with it just being there. The second thing is I used a pen called a Staedtler pigment pen, and it's a 0.3 the Staedtler pigment liner, 0.3 tip, and it's document proof, waterproof on paper, light fast. I don't even know what all these words are. Oh, it's French. Okay, so I won't be able to read it for you, but anyway, so it's an amazing pen. I use them to write in my journals. You get a set of 4 with different size tips, but you can buy them separately as well. So I just love these pens. I'm always struggling to remember when I write it down. It's almost like I forget a whole syllable, and that's why I was just going back, like, did I write it wrong? And I think I did write it wrong, but I don't care. It's okay. So now I'm just stamping the date, and I'm going to add that lovely date stamp by Heidi Swap at the top as well. So there you go, all done. Thank you so much for watching another video, another Wednesday with Wilna. Thank you for sitting through all my ramblings today. I did talk a lot today. Feels like but it was fun talking to you. It was fun thank you for keeping me company for a little bit. And thank you for sharing your layouts. And I'll see you next week, I think. Bye-bye.